Now we approach alternative teaching. Unlike station and parallel teaching, however, its recommended use is occasional. In alternative teaching, one teacher manages the whole group while the other takes a small group for a specific instructional purpose. The small group might meet for a few minutes while others check homework or complete a warm-up task, or they might meet after initial instruction has occurred. Dr. Friend suggested that co-teachers could use alternative teaching when we find some students to have quickly mastered certain concepts and might benefit from enrichment, or when some share particular interest or that a few are better able to focus when they work in a small group led by one of the teachers, and or when students struggle with content and would benefit from additional direct instruction or other specially designed instruction or SDI. Let's look at an example of how and when to use alternative teaching in high school. Both regular and special ed teachers know that some of their students would benefit from pre-teaching before they began the unit of Mice and Men, a novel by John Steinbeck. So the regular ed teacher pulls a group to complete a mini lesson to introduce new vocabulary, while the special ed teacher helps the rest of the class wrap up the previous activity and transition to the next one. Here, notice that the regular ed teacher is the one pulling a small group for vocabulary instruction. It shouldn't always be the special ed teacher. Let's look at another high school lesson for algebra. For the standard on creating a system of equations or inequalities within a modeling context and interpreting solutions, while most students work independently to complete the task, the special ed teacher pulls a small group of students with disabilities who do not completely grasp the concept yet and needs additional scaffolding support and guided practice with specific feedback. Now, these are great opportunities to implement during alternative teaching. This activity was retrieved from openmiddle.com. Using alternative teaching presents opportunities such as enabling teachers to have more personalized interactions with students, permitting teachers to conduct intensive small group sessions within the context of the classroom, and providing instructional flexibility that may be used to provide enrichment, remediation, assessment, or pre-teaching. Notice that it's not always for remediation. A challenge in alternative teaching is that teachers must prevent the small group from being seen as the equivalent of a pull-out special class in the corner of the room. Some prevention measures could include that the regular and special ed teachers alternate leading the alternative instruction. Both teachers can also vary the purpose of the group. As mentioned earlier, the small group could be for the purpose of enrichment, remediation, or behavior support. Finally, both teachers should use a roster to keep track of everyone getting a chance to be in the small group. Another variation to using alternative teaching is for behavior purposes. One of the teachers might pull the student with interfering behavior and include two positive role models so that learning could be focused and the rest of the class can progress as well. Another variation is double alternative teaching. This is when both teachers pull small groups with two different purposes. So some students might work with one teacher, while some may work with both. And some with strong progress may not work with neither. It's almost like station, but some students do not go to either teacher. The authors of the article on coaching co-teachers in 2021 highlighted that a variety of instructional models provides co-teachers with a unique opportunity to meet the needs of all students, especially students with disabilities. To conclude, as Cook and Landrum emphasize, co-teachers should make purposeful decisions to use the co-teaching models based on the learning goals and individual needs.